There you go. That's how we started.
This is Tuvan throat singing.
Tuvan throat? What do you mean what's Tuvan throat?
It's like these guys sat on an ice beach.
Oh gosh.
With water current behind them. And they're singing really weirdly. Listen to this.
Wow.
Impressed?
Yeah, I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
It goes on for quite a while. It's got lyrics in the description as well. And it's Chana Hamna Ha Chana Chana. Chana Mana Na 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 Na.
Wow.
Link in the description.
What is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood podcast, episode number 33.
Hello.
And I'm here with the beautiful, the elegant Wooden Potatoes.
Oh, one of these days I want you to say, oh, look, let's agree this next podcast. When you say the beautiful, the elegant, I then chime in with Wooden Potatoes. Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah, but you always mess it up. See, that's how it originally was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Wooden Potatoes, and you would cue in. So you mess up everything, dude.
Really? I like the thought that there was 1 week where I just forgot to do that, and you were like...
And you just kept on with the messed up version of it, yeah, huh?
No, or you were just like, the beautiful, the elegant, Wooden Potatoes. And I'm like, hello, and like not just completely ignore the awkward silence that appears right at the start of the podcast.
The awkward silences are always good. Like, they always check, like, oh, is the podcast even on? Because they hear
you get that
nothing.
That awkward moment with most podcasts where people are just starting out and it's like, oh, who's meant to be talking next? And then like both people are like, oh yeah, and then like you just sit there really quietly looking at each other. It's like, okay, okay.
Gosh. Oh, those are the best, dude. Those are the
good
best.
Good times, man. Good times.
And when they're like totally new to the internet and just like everything to do with podcasts, and I'm still a nub, but I can talk.
The reason our first podcast was only an hour long instead of like the 2 hours, which is the standard we now have, is an hour of awkward silences were cut out meticulously by Matt Visual. An hour.
Like, what should we talk about next? No, that's not what we did. That whole podcast was just like straight up recorded.
I like that you have to clarify that. Of course it was straight up. There's no way it could be any different. Just listen how smooth the conversations go from Guild Wars 2 to cats to
movies.
Chinese food.
So I watched three movies. Me and my wife had a movie day, and we had a backlog of some old movies that we wanted to watch, and we are also got someone recommended me The Perks of Being a Wallflower is what it's called. A wallflower. I feel like I messed that up. No,
sounds
it's wallflower.
arty.
Yeah, it is. It pretty is arty. But Emma Watson is in there, right? Harry Potter girl.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Now I can watch
This came out in 2012. I wonder why. Do you have the hots for Watson?
Haven't we talked about this before? I swear,
No.
like, I'm sure I mentioned this because I was in the demographic of Harry Potter as I was growing up. And I remember in the really young movies, I always quite liked her, even in the early movies where she's obviously like this really young little girl that's like super bushy hair, nerdy, like she's meant to be in the books. And I was like, yeah, damn, she's hot. And I remember saying to my friends, yeah, she's pretty hot. And they all looked at me like, oh, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, and I remember, and then she started going up, and everybody joined the bandwagon, the Wooden Potatoes bandwagon. Of course, now I can't talk about those early years because now it's like weird because I'm an adult and she's still just a kid in those movies. But still, I stand by it. And
wow.
I'm sure I've told people that. How is she in this film?
Good segue.
An introvert freshman is taken under the wings of two seniors who welcome him to the real world.
Yes. So this is a troubled kid, right? Like you hear that he has some trouble before, and someone recommended me this movie from the Steve Carell movie. It's one of my favorite films, and I've already forgot the name. I blanked out totally about the name.
Nice.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. I can't remember the movie, but the last movie we talked about was Steve Carell in it, with him being the dad and everything. No, not that. Oh, I can't say garbage because a lot of people like that movie.
Look, yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I saw Anchorman 2? I'm sure we did, didn't we?
What? See what?
Anchorman 2.
Anchorman 2. What was it good? Go ahead. Basically, The Perks of a Mayflower. It was a really good movie. It really unveils a lot of the stuff that was happening to him, and you kind of find out what happened to him, why he feels that he's messed up, because he seems like he's very normal, and it's a lot. It's one of those white people high schools, you know, like bullies and all that, because that don't go down where I went to high school. I mean, we had bullies, but it didn't go down like that. Like, oh, I ripped half of your book. What's up, nerd? Nah, that doesn't
really
happen.
I always feel like movies portray bullying to be a lot more extreme than it really is in real life.
Bullying exists, my friend. Let me tell you.
Oh, I'm well aware, but I feel like it's like the emotional damage that bullying does in real life is never really explored in films and stuff. Really, it's just like physical violence that is explored in movies a lot. Like bullies just punching people in the face constantly and, you know, pushing people to the floor. Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen in real life, but I think like a lot of bullying is more like not. I guess I'm being a white person to you right now, am I?
No.
What was bullying for you? What was bullying for you growing up?
I didn't
we
really.
talked about this before. But...
I didn't really get bullied. I didn't really get bullied. I was a big kid, but I was very popular with talking to people. I was always talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people think of me as a ladies' man, which I was not. I was totally not. It was like, oh man, you got a lot of girls around you. Like, I just talked to them. So, because I grew up with a bunch of my aunties, so I guess I was very comfortable with just having conversations. Women. Yeah. So that was my high school year, and I always had like this clique that I was just really good with. Like, man, I'm telling you, high school was boring and hard without like having like that clique that you just kind of hang with and skip school with and have adventures with at the park. Like, man, it's really good to have that in high school. That's why I always like talk to a lot of people, even with the nerds. I've talked to the goth kids. You know, I had those cliques. Like, they're all over the place in school. And
that's weird to me because we never really had cliques where I am. There were definitely different groups, and some of them you would think, oh yeah, these people are smarter than these guys, and these guys are more like this. But there was no like serious cliques, not like the Breakfast Club style. Oh, these are the jock kids, and these are the bookworms, and just like. And I always wonder how true that is as well, because again, it's like, is this American stereotype thing that's in a lot of American media, but is it just being exaggerated, and I, as a foreigner, have no real way of understanding, you know? A lot of
the stuff is exaggerated, I think. But bullying,
like house parties and stuff.
Bullying is not only physical. It definitely has a lot to do with mental bullying as well, like, you know, verbal abuse and all that. Like, there's a lot of different ways. Some of these kids are evil, and some of these kids are evil straight up from like preschool days, man. My wife tells me about like kids saying really bad words, and I remember watching this video of this, I don't know, like, this is not preschool, but like
little girl. Are you about to talk about?
No, I'm not talking about that one, that popular one. But this.
See, I heard about that quite recently. I never heard of it before.
Oh yeah, with wrestling with the little girl
with the C word, yeah.
Oh no. That happens on the words. Words is whatever, but violence. There was this little kid, probably like 6 years old, slapping around a girl, like his younger sister. I mean, beating her. Like every time the.
What?
Yes, every time the teacher would turn around, he would deck her in the face and like slam his feet like a backwards kick, like something out of like the fighting games, like straight up Street Fighter Ryu hurricane kick.
Tying it to video games, that's good. That's
no, that's
mindful of the podcast right there. I like to think that people come and listen to this podcast for a bit of a pick me up. And here we are, like less than 10 minutes in.
Okay, well, there you go. There's a extra tidbit for you guys.
How does this movie portray bullying then? That's wrong.
No, it's not wrong. I'm just saying it's very high schooly, where, you know, like people have cliques and stuff like that, and you see like the jocks are the bulliers, where they push push him to the locker and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of bullying, but it does really portray the scary moment where you're a freshman and you're going into this different world that is high school, and you wonder who you're going to be. Are you going to be one of the popular kids? Are you going to have any friends? Are you just going to go on through your whole high school years being unnoticed by anyone? Not you. Are you going to be that kid like, oh, you're at the high school reunion? You're like, oh, dude, like, who are you again? Oh, I had your class. You don't remember me? I was like right there in the back.
Have you got any photos of all your all the people in your year at high school? Like, how big was your year, first of all?
How big? What do you mean? How big was my year?
How many students were in your year at your school?
I don't know, dude.
Like,
Hundreds?
so for me, we had. Oh, this is a real ballpark. Anywhere between 100 to 200, I would say. Maybe 300.
Okay.
Maybe more. Whatever. Right. I remember years ago now, even now, like 4 or 5 years ago, at my friend's house, we were looking at a photo of everyone that we'd gone to school with, and this was only like 3-4 years after we'd left or something. And just looking at this photo and looking through everyone in the stand who was in this big group photo that we had at the end of the year of everyone, and so many people, I'd already forgotten their names. So many people. Like, we played a game where we were like, all right, name these guys, name this person, and there were faces there that, like, I didn't even recognize as ever seen in my life. And it was definitely for me where I went to school. On that last day of my GCSEs, the last day as I was leaving, I could have, had a story even perhaps about every single person and known every single one's name. And like, it was even more scary. And then you would go to like second names. It'd be like, oh my God, I only know like a half of these people in this picture. Now let's do second names. And so many of them you've forgotten. Yeah. It's really kind of one of those things that, I guess everyone goes through, because why would you keep that knowledge about? But it's kind of sad in a way to think about it. And when you see it laid out like that. I don't know how big your year was, though, or whether you sort of had that community style going on.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty big, but the thing is, a lot of people I'm not in contact anymore. I'm only in contact with my best friend that I knew in high school. That's it. We stay in contact, and we still hang out and stuff like that, obviously. But that's pretty much it. That's my whole high school year. Like, none of that. I didn't talk to none of them anymore. It's crazy how you see people that come in for a season and some people who stay for a lifetime. You have those seasonal friends.
Do you think you'll go to a high school reunion?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Like, oh, what do you do? Hopefully I can say, oh, I play video games for a living. That would be the most weirdest thing ever.
That is kind of weird. Like, would you be super proud of that, or be like, do you think you'd get looks for it, or what?
If I actually make a living off of like this, other than like some, I don't know, I work at GameStop or not to say that's a bad thing, or Walmart or whatever, like maybe I wouldn't be like, okay, I just got a regular job. I probably wouldn't be proud of that, but if I could turn this into
outrageous. I work at Walmart. How dare you?
Yeah, whatever. If I could turn this into a job, I would be proud of it. Yeah, I definitely would be proud. I would say like, yeah, I play games for a living. Like, oh, what do you really? Yeah, I run a website. I make people laugh, whatever. Like people be like, what? You serious? Like I think that's more interesting than like, oh, I just I worked a cashier. I don't want not to say that's a bad thing. It's not bad. Obviously, people have to do it. Obviously.
I love hearing you like backtrack. Like,
no,
I can't offend these people.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure those people would be like, I don't want to go to a high school reunion and say I work at Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's anyone that works at a cashier somewhere and says that's what they wanted to do for a living, or plans to do that for the rest of their life. I think some people get trapped in it, but everyone's got a plan. Beyond that, it's just whether they work on it or not. So I don't think it's too offensive to be like, yeah, because that's like a middleman. That's a middle of the road job. That's a job people do when they think they're moving somewhere else, and it's just sometimes people get stuck in stuff like that.
Well, they get comfortable, or they can't move out because finding another job is kind of like, like you're so secure at the job that you're at right now. Like, oh, I'm. And
then they quit. They can't get another job.
Yeah.
They lose their mortgage.
Yeah.
They're out on the streets.
Yeah, and
Then in come the drugs, just to deal with the monotony of every day. The last thing they had, which was a wise thing to have up to the end, was a phone. At least with a phone number, you can, get a CV, point of contact from people. But now you can't even afford that anymore. Years roll by, you don't even know what you don't know what year it is anymore, except what your friend Dave, who's been living with you on the streets, tells you it is. But it turns out he's been lying to you. He's been trying to steal your spot near the subway, where you get a lot of money.
But
and
then,
now you've really got nothing.
As you kicked out, you meet a girl who's also homeless, and you guys fall in love.
Oh?
Yes.
Do you have a baby?
Yes,
such a happy story.
We have a baby. We have a baby. She gets pregnant, and just when she's about to pop, a rich white couple sees that she's having a baby and gives us a home and takes us to the hospital, and everything works out from there. We get a job.
We've written our own movie.
Yes. There you go, dude.
Challenge for the dear listeners.
Yeah.
Find us that movie, because that movie has to exist. Guy loses his job, lives on the streets for a bit, finds a wife, has a happy ever after. That's a real story that happens. I'm sure. Bonus points if you find it as a film and it's like a real world. It's like an autobiography of a guy or something. I'm sure it's out there.
The Pursuit for Happiness. You could toss in some love in there.
He doesn't become homeless in that, though. How many films actually explore homelessness?
Yes, he is homeless in that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is. That's where he comes up from. Yeah, he's homeless with his kid. Oh, and by the way, the movie that I was talking about is The Way, Way Back with Steve Carell that I liked a lot.
There you go.
There you go.
This was all just stalling until you remembered it.
Yes.
It was very professionally done.
Yeah, very professionally done.
And now we can move on.
Yeah.
Wait, I did have a question about the first movie. It's called The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Mm-hmm. Explain to me the title.
Okay, the group, it's really a weird title because the group that he's in is called, they call themselves the Wallflower, right? But it's never mentioned again in the movie. I'm pretty sure there's some type of hidden meaning to a wallflower that I really need to know, but it seems like everyone in the group has issues, right? They have their own problems, and you kind of see them, unravel throughout the movie. But I'm pretty sure I'm missing some type of hidden meaning to what the wallflower means. I have to look up the definition. But it's this group that he just falls into just because he was just bold enough to talk to the guy in the picture that you see.
Wait, is this the group that was bullying him?
No.
Okay.
So I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a good movie if you like The Way, Way Back, if you like like serious teen movies that deal with real issues, not cartoony issues or anything like that. It's not Mean Girls or anything. Even though, wasn't Mean Girls a good movie? I think Mean Girls was a good movie. I can't remember. It's been a while.
I think I saw it once and
it's not like a Mean Girls movie. It's one of those indie type of films that deal with real issues. I also watch In a World, right, which deals with a woman becoming a voice actor in the industry and being dominated by men. But I think this is not such an issue anymore. It was a good movie.
Oh, you did not just say that.
It's not such a no. A lot of women do voice acting. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Right.
It's not an issue anymore. Like women being in the voice acting industry is not an issue anymore. Like it's everywhere. Like there's tons of women that do voice acting. It's everywhere in every animated film, and I gotta be honest, some women are kind of better than men. Like men just do the bold voice in a world full of tons of things. They do all that stuff. But women, they do guy voices. They do woman voice. Oh my gosh.
Have you seen that guy that can sing like Disney princesses?
Yeah. I've seen that too.
This is why women don't have places in voice acting, because men can do it all.
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't even take hormones. He's not been castrated. None of that.
You're talking about
does an impeccable Milan. Impeccable.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look up Aladdin in a Whole New World cover.
In a whole new world.
he sings the girl version. If you haven't heard of this guy, you probably should at least watch that video. It's pretty ridiculous. If I remember, I'll try to put it in the description.
Right next to the other singing, yeah.
Yeah. I also watch. Yeah, okay. In the world. Yeah, it was a cool movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It reminded me a little bit of Oh, it doesn't remind me of anything. I was gonna say it's in this type of stuff like Enough Said and stuff like that. You know, very like it wasn't like known what it was. I don't know. It didn't really get a lot of reviews and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't go see it. So I try to give those movies a little listen sometimes. So
wait. I got a question for you again. Mm-hmm. I think I know it this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, explain to me the title of this movie.
In the world, it's basically. I mean,
it's the first line of what you'd expect most.
Fontaine, Don. You know, he's the guy who was like the godfather of voice acting and stuff like that.
In a world where money rules all.
In a world. Yeah, like so. That's why it's the most. I don't know,
do
known thing in
terrible
voice acting
approximate
in the world.
attempt at that?
Huh?
Does she do like a terrible attempt at the in a world thing?
She did an attempt to it, and I don't want to see. I can't spoil it.
It bombed.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it. So I'm
Guys,
not you. I don't just
right.
spoil stuff. Okay.
They're not spoilers. I got the comments on my side on this one.
And one more movie before we move on is Fruitvale Station. It's with the guy.
Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Fruitvale Station.
Okay.
Depending on what country you're from. It's with the black guy from Chronicle, right?
Okay.
His name is Michael B. Jordan. Yes, Michael Jordan.
He looks pretty cool actually on that image of the thing.
So So this is one of those movies where you see what really happens in the hood. You know, like they have the cursing, they have the end talk. I'm not gonna say
Does this match your experience of the hood?
Well, those cops, dude. Those white cops, man.
Is there much of a hood in Miami?
No, not really. Not really. There's a few gangsters out there. Depending, there is kind of a little bit.
Oh,
of
don't say anything. They might come for you.
Hey, yeah, right. All the way in Georgia.
You've described your window in the podcast. They know.
There's bad neighborhoods in Miami.
Near Dragon Con.
Liberty City, a little bit of Opelika. I don't know. They might have, they might have changed a little bit. You kind of see kind of the nice buildings moving in some of those areas, but there's bad areas in everywhere.
See now the description of this movie is the purportedly true story of Oscar Grant III. Purportedly true. Like, how can they get away with that? So they're calling it a true story, but there is no verification for anything that ever happened. Like, what does that even mean? Like, that's ridiculous. Also, I find it curious that Oscar Grant III in this film was a 22-year-old Bay Area resident. 22 years old, and someone's made a movie about the events of his life. I'm 22.
It spawned a lot of things.
I wonder whether I'm wasting away now.
It's about, all right, I'm going to say it's about police brutality. And it spawned a lot of things, like a lot of grants were given, a lot of I'm not going to say what it was for, a lot of riots and protests happened because this was recorded. Everyone in the station saw this, right? And then it was recorded and put on, like, I don't know if it was on YouTube, and people saw this and people started writing about it and stuff like that. Like, it was nuts. It was nuts. So this is the story about it, and it was good. I enjoyed it a lot. I
must admit that. Did you see that video that went kind of viral recently? There was some scandal in, I think it was Atlanta. No, not Atlanta. What's that place near Texas that begins with an A?
Austin?
No, not a city. It's state. Is there a state that begins with an A near there?
Oh, a state?
Maybe. Whatever. There was some big police thing somewhere around there. There's there's a video on YouTube of it where there's apparently he was mentally handicapped or something, but some guy who was clearly doing something wrong, but there's all these police like with him on a cliffside, like out in the middle of nowhere. They've got like a dog and everything, like, and they're telling him, oh, put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up. And this guy like conforms. He puts his hand up and turns around to get on the floor, and then they just shoot him and like kill him. And it's like, wow, like there was this huge scandal about it. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
I see stuff like that in the States all the time, and it just makes me think, man.
See, that's the same thing I think about going over there. Like, I'm scared that something bad is gonna happen to it because I see all these movies like Taken and everything.
People will take your wallet in, or maybe your passport. You're not gonna like be scared of getting shot all over the place. I suppose it's the same everywhere though. Because
man, I'm gonna get zippers for my pockets, or I'm gonna get me a nice little fanny pack. I'm gonna get a little fanny pack. No,
it's pretty ridiculous.
Zipper for my wallet would be awesome though. Zipper for my wallet. I mean, for my pockets would be awesome.
Kind of tacky.
You're not gonna be able to see it, dude. If you put it inside, if you design it well, you can put it inside of the pocket.
Oh, design it. The thing is, if you're going traveling, like, who cares about looking tacky? You're there to experience life and cultures outside your own boundaries.
Oh, dude, you gotta look good, dude. Come on now.
This is why people wear like bandanas.
Man. You gotta.
Like, when I went to Spain, I've never worn a bandana. I look like a Hmong with a bandana on. But I go to Spain, hell yeah, I've got a bandana on.
Oh,
you know,
dude.
like it's holiday clothes.
I need a picture with you in a bandana now. Oh, dude, you wear a bandana. Oh, dude, I could just see it now, like your long blonde hair, and you just like.
I actually did the double bandana thing for a while, where you put one on and then you put another one on at slightly different angles.
What world do you live in? I need to see it. Oh gosh, this is ridiculous. Oh man, such a. With the glasses too? Oh, so tacky.
No.
Dude.
Back then I wasn't wearing glasses.
I have to see this now. Oh, back then.
Yeah. Huh? Well, I haven't actually been wearing glasses that long. Maybe 2 years.
Oh, really, man? I've been wearing these since fifth grade.
It was when I was learning to drive last year or the year before. I was having trouble reading license plates off in the distance, and my instructor, who also wears glasses herself and says they were too weak for her, she was able to read them really clearly, and she was like, look, if you want to pass your test, you're going to have to be able to read those in the distance. And I couldn't do it, and I was really shocked. When I was a little kid, I used to wear glasses a lot, but then my eyes just seemed to get much better. And I do swear for a long time, they felt fine. But I think being in front of screens a lot lately or whatever, I don't know, maybe made my vision far away a little bit worse. So yeah, I only wear glasses as well when I really need them, like to study stuff far away. Like most of the time, I'm not wearing them right now. I would rarely wear glasses. But yeah, I'm
slightly scared because I sit in front of the computer a lot, right, to play games and stuff like that, and like I could barely see without my glasses. Barely see without my glasses. So I'm a little scared that I might just get blind one day and just have bifocals, just like huge thickness.
All right, so what would you rather lose? Oh, this is maybe a dumb question. All right, a guy in Europe steals your wallet, or steals your shoes, or steals your glasses.
Shoes.
Which one would you rather? No, not okay. Oh, okay. All right, which would you least like him to take? Shoes or glasses? Ignore wallet.
Ignore wallet. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'd rather be without shoes than my glasses. Are you kidding me? My
So
glasses.
you'd walk around
dude.
on pebbly, cragged.
People know what I'm talking
burnings.
about. People who wear glasses for like they need to wear glasses. Like you wake up and you put on your glasses and you go to sleep and you take off like it's part of your life basically.
Lose
you know
your
what I'm
glasses
talking
for the
about.
rest of your life.
It sucks.
Or your left hand.
Oh my god. Dude, no. What the hell?
Yeah, it's like a really messed up guy. Really messed up. It's like you have to lose one of these. He's crazy. He's European. What are you gonna do?
Oh, dude. No, I can't lose a body part, dude. Is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna hurt?
No, it's not gonna hurt.
It's
But
gonna
you
be
will
a
have
clean,
to live
it's
the
gonna be a
rest
clean
of your
cut.
life.
I mean, clean cut. So, see, if this is in the
You can get a
future,
hook.
maybe I can get a hook.
Yeah, replace it with a hook. Well, you don't have health
dude.
insurance, so you can get one of those fancy prosthetic hands.
Yeah. See, I could, get one of those little hands that don't move. Maybe we could figure out a way in the future. To getting one of those, getting one of those hands. I was just watching a guy on Twitch, with no he has like no hands, but he has still like a. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
You explained that was so stupid. Like, oh, this guy, yeah, he's got no, what's that thing? No hands, yeah.
Okay, we're not laughing. We're not laughing at this guy, dude. Okay, so he has like, I don't know what I think, no, he was born. That's right. I was reading his bio. He was born without hands and arms and feet. Arms and feet. So he still has like part of an arm. Okay. And he uses it to play games, and he plays pretty damn good. Counter-Strike. I don't know if he plays like pro or anything like that, but he's like pretty good at it. And I was watching him as well, and it's amazing how he can still like use like the mouse and stuff like that, and he could still use it. So I'm like, man, maybe still. I mean, all I'm gonna be missing is just one hand. I could probably still pull this off in some way.
Is this a really elaborate segue into that like Guild Wars 2 Connect thing, by the way?
So, Connect with Guild Wars.
Speaking of no hands, if you don't have any hands, you could play Guild Wars 2 now.
No, I doubt that would work.
Dude, okay, so Matt linked me this video. I had seen a little bit and turned it off, but he linked it to me before this podcast. It's these guys using a Kinect, like motion control, to play Guild Wars 2. Interesting concept, but my god, does it look clunky and horrible. Like, the idea is you like lean slightly in a direction and the character runs the other way, and the guy like does a big woo starfish thing, and then that makes his character dodge roll. Like, it looks ridiculous. And the best thing is, or maybe this would be a bit distasteful for me to say, but like the video ends with this splash screen that says level the playing field, as if this ridiculous, like, terrible implementation of a way to play the game would ever level the playing field for someone who was physically impaired to play with, you know, a standard setup. There's no way. Well, maybe someone would eventually prove me wrong, but like, just the
years and years from now, but there's no way little flailing moments is faster than the keyboard clicks and all that. There's no way. People who have a disability, they will have something custom made or something like that, like I don't know, like fingers or something, and they could just like use it and to just learn how to type stuff on the keyboard really quickly. That would be better. Or making slightly bigger keys. And in using this, like, you know, this thing, like this hand thing that they can just kind of move around and click the buttons really quickly. I've seen people play the game strictly on the keyboard and not using the mouse. So that could be more of a thing. Not waving your hands in the air. Like, I can't see this being like a thing later on.
Yeah,
yes, maybe games
made.
Yeah, games made for this type of control scheme. That could be fun, but other than that, no, I don't.
And there's been games like this for a long time, like iToy and stuff, and they're rarely more than just sort of a gimmicky little party thing you can play with family at Christmas, and then you move on. I do think there is cool stuff on the horizon, like that eye thing, that your monitor is essentially a camera, or it's got a camera on it, and where you look with your eyes is directly moving the mouse at the same time. So, like, I have an obscenely large screen that is completely unnecessary, but it'd be like, oh, as I move my eyes around, it's already moving the mouse. And then, yeah, you could fit, and then, like, you could blink or whatever, do a certain thing. And that would be like a click, and another thing would be like a left click. And yeah, you might be twitching a bit weirdly looking at the monitor, but it would be very efficient, very quick to move the mouse around. And that kind of stuff is really quite feasible now. It's just not, you know, found widespread adoption. You stuff like this. Go ahead.
You seen the AR thing that they can do? All right, so you know, there's the Oculus Rift. There's Sony's new type of Oculus Rift headset. And then there's this this camera thing that you could put on your head, right? It uses the cameras on your head to figure out the room dimensions, and then you could put your smartphone inside the slot in front of your eyes.
Yeah, this is Google's new thing, yeah.
No, it's not Google's new thing. No.
Oh, Google has something just like that.
It's some obscure company doing it, and basically it uses your phone to actually, like, you go through a portal. Like, you put on a headset, you go through a portal inside of this room that you're already in, this plain white room, and then it changes the whole room into a fantasy like place or a sci-fi place.
Oh,
and there's
okay,
monsters,
yeah,
there's all this type of stuff, and it sounds pretty cool. Like that type of stuff. Can you imagine laser tag not being cool anymore? What if laser tag fused with this and having this headset on that like covers everything, like your whole head, like a big helmet, and it has your speakers, surround sound speakers, and all that type of stuff. And you can see people around you, and you'll be able to touch them because they're real people, and they'll be like your squad. And they just have this whole room, this whole maze room filled with all types of crazy stuff that's going down. Oh, dude. That would be quite interesting.
Now, don't judge me too hard for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was super into Pokemon, right, I thought the coolest game that could ever exist, right? And if I was like a billionaire, I still think to this day I'd probably try and like do something like this, right? Would be to like buy out a huge area of the world, like a national park or something, like loads of space, right? And set up in this region, you know, a load of like towns or cities or whatever, like real, you know, real hiking, traveling from place to place. And on your phone, like by scanning the ground around you, like as you're walking through forests, IRL, like it would be a game that is an augmented reality game where every now and then by looking through, say, your iPhone at the world, you might like look up in a tree and you'll see a Pidgey in the tree because it's just the phone's put a Pidgey in the tree.
You're trolling right now. That's what Google did.
Oh, is it?
Oh, you never seen it?
With Pokemon, did they do that?
Yes, dude. They did an April Fool's about the Google Pokemon Master.
No way! Really?
The same exact idea. Are you serious right now?
Yeah, dude. Like, and I thought it'd be the coolest thing, and you could actually catch them and level them, and you could battle them, and
yeah, that's
it
what
would
they
all
do.
be through your phones.
And
no way.
Yeah, dude. You have to watch it now. You have to watch it after this. You have to watch it now after this. Like,
you're gonna have to link me to that.
Yeah. So
that annoys me though, because that's my idea, and now they've stolen it.
Well, it's not real.
How can I cash in? Can't you see? Can you?
It's not real. You could.
What if they profited on the April Fools in some way? And also, that's put it out to the masses now. This was my secret idea that just the VisualWoodites were gonna hear about.
They do have something like that with like it used to be popular back in the days. I don't know if people still play those type of games, but they had a basically it uses your Google Maps in order to tell like where you are in this zombie apocalypse, and you'll have like battles with random zombies, and when you move around inside of the world, you'll get like, you know, points and stuff like that, and you'll scavenge stuff and medicine and stuff like that, and you'll fight different zombies, and it's like a real world game. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's kind of like the whole augmented stuff.
When I was on my apprenticeship, there were a bunch of people who had this. It was like a Pokemon rip-off Android app where by actually moving around IRL, traveling miles IRL, you would have a chance to get random encounters with these rip-off Pokemon, and you could battle them and train them and stuff. So we had all these people who came to this apprenticeship from a long way away, caught trains to in and out of work, and like depending on where some of these guys lived, they were like, oh yeah, I get these types of whatever they were, I can't even remember what they're called. And other people were like, oh yeah, I'm getting these. Maybe it's because we're really far away from each other in the country and like the spawn rates are different around. Like, that was a pretty cool idea for an app, and everyone got like obsessed with it for a while. Think about it. Money to be made, people. Money to be made.
I keep thinking about this room, this big room that they can create, and people just put on these helmets and gear, and you could just chill in there. Can you imagine if they create like a fantasy world within this big warehouse?
Holodeck?
Yeah, but like, you know, like it all seems like it's real, and you know, like beautiful HD graphics, and people just walk around and chill.
Well, graphics are so much that I think I had a dream the other night, right? I haven't been to the coast.
When it's in front of your eyes, it has to be a certain, I don't know, a certain resolution. I gotta say.
But hear me out. And this is going to be a bit weird because it was a dream, but I haven't been to the coast for ages. However, I had a dream the other night, and this is going to sound really bad. I had a dream that I was hired as like an actor for a character that was coming up in Game of Thrones, all right? It was kind of weird. But in this dream, this character that I was playing, that I'd been hired onto the set
it's the midget, right? Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't Tyrion. It was some other guy. It was like it was a lot
bald
like
guy.
No, there was a new guy in season 4, episode 1. Wow. Yeah, I was Varys. That's who I was hired as. No, there's a new guy in season 4, episode 1. There's like this new like suave guy, like he stabs a guy in the hand, and it was basically him as far as I remember. You know how dreams get twisted. Anyway, in the dream, I went to the coast and I was on this big fort, and in my dream, like, it was so amazing because of the sea air and the you know, like when you got a hot summer day, but the breeze is just perfect, and you know the sound of the seagulls all around you, and like it was like the point is this dream was of a full experience of being at the sea, and I woke up that morning, I was like, damn, you know, I really want to go to the beach or something. Like that was cool. That's not, and I feel like what you're saying with VR and stuff, like, yeah, I get it. Graphics are huge, but to simulate all the rest of that stuff, like that perfect sunny day with all the wind and the smell of, you know, slight bit of salt in the air, and you know that, I think we're so far off.
Dude, that would be perfect. Like there'll be like little air vents that can control the smell of certain areas. Oh, dude, it'll be amazing.
But think about like humidity of the air.
Dude, in cars now, you can have 2 separate temperatures for each side of the car. Okay, it can happen. It can work. Okay, it can work.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's a pretty fancy car you've got right there.
No, it was my friend just bought a new Acura, so he's just
Can I get 2 different temperatures for each side of my bicycle, or are we not quite?
No, we're not quite there yet. I don't think so. But it could definitely work. It depends on what. You know, if it's really cold outside, then I don't think that's gonna work very well. You know, making it really hot, yeah, that cold might overwhelm you depending on how cold it is outside. Anyways, yeah, enough about AR, VR, Ultra R, Rapid Fire, League of Legends. Yeah, enough of all that.
Oh, are you playing that? How? Because my friend keeps trying to make me play it, and I'm like, I'm not getting into League. I'm not getting into.
Wait,
League.
is it Sean?
Yeah, it's Sean. Yeah, Sean won't stop it. Trying to get me into League.
So we played, and basically he had Mordecai, and I had like Blitzcrank, and basically he'll just put down Mordecai. Don't you know how Mordecai can put down those little minions, those little saplings, over and over and over again? Well, he can put it over and over and over again because of Ultra Fire. So he'll put it all in a bush, and then I would grip him with Blitzcrank. And then
do you want to explain to people what Ultra Fire is? I know what it is, but
all right. So basically, they buffed a lot of people. So AD carries get like 50% more attack speed.
It's an April Fool's game type.
Yeah, it's an April Fool's game type. Cooldowns are like 80%. There's no mana cost. There's a lot of different changes here and there. They would have to ban a few. They had to ban a few champions permanently from that game mode because it was just a little bit broken.
Like who?
Like Hecarim. Basically, you couldn't stop him. He just kept coming after you. He kept running extremely fast and just kept cutting. Keep attacking you. There's nowhere to run. There's nothing you can do. It was the most scariest thing I've ever seen. With the rainbow skin, so you just see this gigantic horse rainbow, yee, and just coming after you. Dude, that is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. He would horde dive you, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because he's so fast that he could just get out of turret damage range really quickly.
Yeah.
Alistar, I never seen him in action, but I heard he was really broken. I could imagine Soraka why she got banned. You could just imagine how fast she was just throwing down everything and then healing herself over and over and over again. There's nothing you can do about Soraka. Nothing you can do about Soraka. It's pretty ridiculous. It's a fun game type, but the thing is, after a while, it gets kind of crazy. Can you imagine that, you'll go against like Taric Blitzcrank and basically you can't move because the stun is like infinite.
Well, yeah, so you were doing a Mordecai Blitzcrank. Any Blitzcrank in this mode just sounds horrible.
It is horrible.
Any character with a pull, just...
You have to play Blitzcrank. You have to play the OP champions or they're going to play the OP champions. That's just how it is. And it gets to the point where it just kind of gets a little... You get a little salty.
I heard that Jax was broken and Jax was my go-to champion back when I used to play.
Oh, Jax. Yeah, I love me some Jax as well. I used to play it a lot when I first started playing League long time ago. back where there was dodge runes and all that. Back in beta where everyone played Jax basically because Jax was.
I started playing Jax when it was like, oh, you build power, and his passive was freely turning that power into health for you. It was so good. You just never had to go for defense.
It's crazy just standing in like a crowd of people and just murdering them. There's just nothing they can do. It was stupid. Before they nerfed it was so stupid. Like, you just wouldn't die. Anyways, what is our first bong? Bong-alicious.
Well, I get one of our first bong technically, I guess, was the Connect thing.
Yeah, right. Bong. 2 bongs for that.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And then the next bong is maybe a bong 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 bong. See what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
Because. All right, so a little bit of news for people that don't know. This was data mined a while ago. We have discussed this on the podcast. The news is a little bit light on the ground at the moment, as you guys know. We're in like the calm before the storm of the new patch coming up. But they did do a Q&A, which really had some little refinements and bits of information. But also they did a blog post talking specifically about the drums that have been added to the game and the new musical effects that are going on and the way that you can record tempos and things. And I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. This is like one of the classic bongs. You know, it's like a PSA. Boom. Also, there's a bug with them where, like, if you go to Sparkfly Fen and get on, you know, those jump pads, those Tequatl jump pads. Mm-hmm. Apparently, if you equip the drum and then get on the jump pad, it will like give you your weapon skills back, but your utility skills will still be the drum or whatever weapon you have out. So you can be like these hybrid real Guild Wars 2 classes, but also music players at the same time. So like fighting while playing music.
The minstrel stuff with like Guardian.
Yeah, like so. I got that from a post on Reddit. Someone was like,
That's
"Hey, I'm
amazing.
a warrior." Yeah. This is pretty cool. Pretty nice idea. All right. And
what are the utilities? Is like the hi hat on the utilities or anything like that? Like
I really have no. They're very tribal sounding drums. They sound like the kind of instrument I've heard people playing them. It sounds to me like the kind of instrument where you can just bang keys and it actually sounds good.
Oh, okay.
So we were like doing Worm. Oh, another Worm story. We were doing Worm and stood near like these Hylek where we wait for with one of our strats, and there was this guy just playing this drum like and it was so ambient. It was like, yeah, I'm in like a tribal Hylek village and I'm getting my groove on with this crazy primitive music going on. It was pretty cool. It was pretty nice, and I liked that they added that instead of just a classic like rock and roll drum set, which would just be totally out of keeping of the universe, even though like I guess that's what I imagined they would add.
I definitely would like to see some concerts, because I've already seen some really cool videos on YouTube about like everyone like syncing up together and people dancing and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff. The swinging boy, what type of topic is that?
All right,
I have a challenge. Boy?
I have a challenge for you.
Hold on, I want everyone to think what exactly this could mean as a topic, as a bong. Swinging boy. Just let that sink in a little bit.
This is the note I've written down in the show notes. Like I've not shown anything to Matt, so really. Swinging boy, you could take that in a pretty bad direction. We're not going to go that way.
Right.
This is a challenge to people, right? I've known about this for a little while, but I don't think it's common knowledge. It's not common enough knowledge for the hunt to have really picked up. So, I promise you, I will give 20 gold. I think that's a good enough incentive. I will give 20 gold to the person who completes this challenge, right? And proves it, right? Currently, there is a statement from the devs, okay? That there are 3. All right, now let me take it back. Right, outside Lion's Arch. You remember the old Lion's Arch before everything was destroyed? You remember like all the boat masts and stuff?
Yeah.
If you were looking in from Gendaran Fields, you might have seen this before. You might not. In all those masts, if you look really high off and really distant off on one of the sides, hanging from one of the ropes is a little boy, miles above, like in the sky, where no player should be able to reach him, swinging on this rope, like going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, like way up there. Yeah, it was like this cool little Easter egg, really weird thing, like up in the sky. People posted about this on the forums, right? And there turned out to be another swinging boy in World vs. World. You know the jumping puzzle in the regular Borderlands? Where you've got to get the 2 halves of the key pieces and that lets you in the vault?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? Apparently, I've never been here. I've never even seen this room with my own eyes. But apparently there's a secret room near there in all World vs. World maps with a little hidden garden place. And in that hidden garden, that secret place, is another swinging boy, like on a tree this time or something. You know, he's swinging there, right? So these are two swinging boys. People found these and have for a long time posted them on the forums and said, what's going on with these to the devs? And there have been statements from the devs, I really hope I'm remembering all these facts correctly, there have been statements from the devs saying, these are the swinging boys. Did you know there is a third swinging boy in Guild Wars 2? And no one has found it. And, like, no one has ever, like, no one's taken them up on that. Apparently, the devs say it exists, it's out there somewhere, and this is not common knowledge. Now, Lion's Arch was destroyed, yes? All those masks and things were destroyed where one of the swinging boys was. So, what did the devs do? Did they just let the boy die? Did he disappear, never to be seen again? No, what they did was they moved him. So, that swinging boy is now in the Vigil Keep. And you can see him up there, really high, again, in an inaccessible place. The swinging boy has been moved to the Vigil Keep. Yet, the elusive third swinging boy, the brother, the third of this trio, has not been found by the Guild Wars 2 community.
Well, what if he's in some weird, obscure place, like in a dungeon, in a corner somewhere?
Then 20 gold in it. For anyone that actually finds it, posts it with proof, and we actually confirm that it's, you know, one missing boy that's there. If it's like there's 3 that we found and a 4th that's missing, then you get the 20 gold for the 4th. Like, you're not gonna trick me out here. I have no morals. I don't care. Like, only if I feel like it's fair. So that's the way we're gonna do it. All right. And yeah, the extra swinging boy. See if you guys can find it. If it rings any bells for you, seems pretty cool to me, and it might be something. People just
I would totally match WP's 20 gold with my own 20 gold. So 40 gold.
Holy snap! Okay,
40
cool.
gold for people who could find it. Oh boy, we have a challenge accepted here.
The VisualWood challenge numero uno.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh no! Dude,
next
that could be like
one.
A feature.
Next challenge. Maybe in the future, find Ritlock's pants.
Whatever happened to our cheese and wine feature, where we just get drunk and eat cheese?
Oh, dude, that would be amazing. I love cheese. Did I tell you how much I love cheese? Like, I ate a lot of it the other day before I got back on salad. Like, oh my gosh.
What kind of cheese? Can you just eat raw cheese?
Yeah, I can just eat raw cheese. I like cheese that much.
What is this?
I like cheese. You don't have those at parties? You know, cheese with a little bit of grape. Oh yeah.
That sounds like
Ratatouille.
A white people party. To be honest, that sounds a bit
bit
upper class for me.
Yes, Weepy's black. That's what it is. No, he's Hispanic. Forget the black stuff. He's Hispanic.
Oh,
yeah, Hispanic.
Okay. The jig is up.
And the jig is up. Oh gosh.
I want you to hang on this.
I can imagine it now. I'm just picturing it. Oh gosh, you like hide your accent for everything.
Whoa, why would you assume that just because I'm Hispanic I've got an accent if I grew up my whole life in England?
Listen here. Don't try to make this about race, okay? We've been pretty good. This past couple podcasts. Have we? We have. We've been good, right, guys? Can't remember.
I don't know about that. I get very offended. Very offended.
Anyways, real life Failblade? Really?
All right. And now here is challenge numero dos.
No.
This is not. But this is something very cool I wanted to draw attention to. Somebody posted on the official forums, Bong, that they have made. So do you know what a Failblade is in Guild Wars 2?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, so it's for people that don't, it's the Hall of Monuments Greatsword skin. It was a big skin in the first game. It is only redeemable for having got a certain amount of points in your Hall of Monuments. It's pretty cool. I have started... Oh, I could talk to you about another... I could do another bong in a second. I've been key farming lately. I'll talk about that. Anyway, I've been using that recently.
It's also like a smaller sword of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Right, yeah. Except it's like black and it's got this weird kind of dark, emo ambience about it. It's pretty cool. A guy made one in real life. You know, there's that YouTube channel where this dude makes video game weapons in real life. It's like huge.
Is it the same guy who made the Attack on Titan?
I think it's called like Man at Arms or something. I think it is. Anyway, I don't think it's the same guy that did this, but somebody just like that made a Guild Wars 2 weapon in real life, and like it's an impressive thing to see. Like, I'm not kind of one of these bro dudes that, like, you know, is like, oh, look at all these weapons are so cool. But it is very interesting to see it, and it is well crafted and looks cool. This guy is doing a giveaway to pass that on to someone for free.
Whoa.
You can win this Fellblade, this real life, like, heavy metal thing. Very, very cool. And basically, he's doing a competition on the forums. It's, I think you have to apply before the patch, and here's the way his competition works. And I think it's a really cool idea for a competition. You, basically, whoever makes the most money on investments on the trading post wins. The way he's done it is he said, right, you need to give me 2 screenshots. Number 1, a screenshot of the thing that you're buying and the price it is. So I am buying 250 South Sun skins for 2 gold each or something like that, right? And then a second screenshot showing that you're actually selling them. And then once the patch goes out, you do another screenshot showing you selling it, right? And the winner is whoever made most profit. Now, what's cool about this is I, as a layman with maybe a bit of money and wanting to invest, I can look through this thread and see what everyone's, you know, best predictions for investments are, and I can tap in on that as well. You know, it's opening up these secret investments, everybody keeping it close to their chest. You look at this thread and you see what other people are staking their money on so significantly that they're even expecting to win a competition over it, and you can start doing it for yourself. I think it's a really cool idea, and you can win that thing. So
wow, okay, I like the way he did it too. Like you actually have to take a screenshot of what you're buying.
Yeah, you have to have proof.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, I have $1,000. I'm just gonna spend $1,000 worth of gold and just, you know, buy all of it.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's whoever makes the most profit. So it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he didn't have it that way, then that would have been a little bit weird. Yeah. Because there's rich people out there, and there's people who could just be better at everything. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to be some random guy's like, oh man, I would love that. You know, the guy that who could win it, who should win it. Like, oh, I would love it. And then he's just like, I got to find something, and he lucks out and actually gets a lot of money. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure someone who really knows the trading post is going to win that thing. Yeah.
And it'll be. I'm really curious to see who does win it in the end and where the most money was, because obviously the economy is going to be so crazy after that. And yeah, I like the idea of incentivizing more competitions like that. But yeah, okay. So the next bong as well. That was going to be our last. But next bong, I've been doing something kind of interesting in game. Bong, have you ever key farmed?
Key farmed? You're talking about the blind
keys, yeah.
Yeah, what I used to hear is that what warriors would pretty much go through the beginning level creating process. With the tutorial and over again, delete and repeat.
Yeah,
is that what you're doing? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and it's been sort of okay. So here's the idea, guys. Key farming. I may actually do a video on my channel at some point about this, because I find it quite interesting, and it was something very new to me about Guild Wars 2. It's the idea that you can make a new character, speed it through the first 10 level stuff, and you get that personal story reward that gives you a black lion key. You accept it, you delete the character, you make a new one. Now, by doing a very specific personal story thing, right? You pick a human, and you make sure that they are of the common folk, yeah, so not nobles, not from the streets, just common folk. You can spam your way through it very quickly, and like there's this whole thing to it, dude. Like, you can buy, there's an economy on the trading post for weapons that are like really low level, have no level requirement, but are power based weapons and have really high stats. So like you can spend like 40 silver on a staff that's level 0 required. 40 silver.
Whoa.
Because there's like this whole economy about it. Like there's these rare weapons that people want. Because the idea is what you do is you make your new character, you go to the bank on it, and you equip account-bound armor and weapon. So not soul-bound, right? You equip account-bound stuff with like bloodlust sigils on it and power runes that you buy all for the first time. And it makes your like level 1 character absolutely overpowered. You know the boss in the human stuff at the start with the giant earth elemental hand?
Yeah.
That thing, I do this on Guardian, by the way. I don't do it on Warrior. I actually think Guardian's better for it. If you can combine both, then it's best. But, like, the Guardian, you, like, one-shot that boss. You know, well, two-shot it, maybe. But that whole, like, Earth Elemental thing, literally use Orb of Light, the 2-on staff, and it just shreds through it, and you've got 25 Bloodlust by that point. It just blows the whole thing up. It's amazing. I like was key farming with this total noob, this new player, and I was just like one-shotting all the centaurs with my staff spam one. I was like, yeah, one shot, killing all the waves, and he could barely get a tag with his terrible weapon. And then we go up to the boss, and it's like his first experience of Guild Wars 2, and we do it, and like the boss instantly dies, and I felt sort of bad because I'd kind of ruined his experience of how the game begins. I'm sure it was maybe an all.
He probably was like, man, this guy's high level. I wouldn't be like him when I grow
Yeah,
up.
I was thinking he'd want to re-roll to Guardian because he would think that a Guardian was OP. I think he was on a Warrior, and he was going to be like, "Oh, Guardian's so much better than Warrior. Why didn't I play that?"
Well, that's just true. So you know.
Wow. But that's the idea, and then like you spam your way through, and there's like this whole sort of tactic to it, and specific way you do it, and you can get a Black Lion key, one key every 20 minutes or so. Which, you know, maybe isn't that good. What I've been doing is I've been getting 5 keys at a time. Once you do get used to it, I've got to admit, you know, it's kind of an interesting idea, I think. But when you get used to it, dude, it's boring. It is a pretty boring thing to do. But the way I've been earning gold in game at the moment, obviously you get capped on the dungeons, right, each day?
Yeah.
So I can only do so many dungeons. And after that, it's either, hey, do I want to farm tier 6 mats? Not really, maybe. Do I want a champion farm? No way. Maybe I'll key farm. So, you know, I get 5 keys and then open the chests and see what you get. And you can get a lot of scraps. I've earned myself a tormented weapon already just from doing key farming. Just from getting those little scraps that come in. You get a lot of dyes from it. After the patch, here's something people don't consider. After the patch, this will be one of the only ways to consistently get unidentified dyes, key farming. Because you get a lot from Black Line chests and stuff. But, you know, you've got chances at permanent bank access and just straight up tormented weapons or whatever is currently for sale on the Black Line, you know.
I feel like I should be buying a lot of skins right now because I'm going to want to fill up my bank with it.
Dude, yeah, man.
Like I just don't know what I don't know what I have and what I don't have though, because the trading post, I don't know, it's weird. Like it's not going to say, "Oh, you've unlocked the skin," which I hope it would say that, right? Oh, like you have unlocked the skin, you don't need it. But I doubt that it would say that.
Yeah, I doubt that too. I think you're right, that would be a cool feature, but I doubt it would do it.
Quality of life.
That'd be something to check.
So you could just go through and buy every single thing and then have it all. You got to go through light, medium, and heavy armor.
That's armors you're thinking about as well. Think about weapons. 13 different categories of weapons, each with about 100 skins individually. Some of those skins costing thousands of gold.
It's going to be
nuts. People that want to collect this stuff, which I sincerely do believe is going to be many players, are going to be playing this game for so long to unlock all that stuff. It's going to be ridiculous.
I might start just farming a lot just to get like the Volcanus and being able to switch to it, because I've always wanted it. But
yeah, man.
I've always wanted it. I just don't want to. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I just want to be able to dual wield great swords. Then all my solutions are solved.
Yeah, no. That would be amazing though. Can you imagine doing like the spin whirlwind
Warrior Axe 5 or something?
Oh, dude.
Dual great swords. Yeah, ridiculous.
Dude, just hold them out like a like a helicopter.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, and you just fly off. That'd be crazy though. That'd be crazy. Oh, floor plans. We didn't do the floor plans.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So, do you want to tell people the story?
What? No. People know the story. It was
now,
the last
what if
podcast.
they're new listeners?
No. Listen to the old podcast.
Them new listeners.
No. Listen to the old podcast. So, basically, somebody in the comments said, oh, what are your floor plans? So we can actually, like, look to see how it actually looks. I can't find it. Where's my floor plan? There it is. There. All right. So I drew up my floor plans here.
Okay.
So this is exactly how it looks.
It's just open in Photoshop.
Right. All right. You tell me when you have it up.
It's lagging. How? Oh, there we go. Oh, I was expecting something super fancy. Okay. All right.
No. I just drew this real quick. So basically, you know where you had the door. See how the door is now? That's the door. That's where the door is. I was
pretty close with the door, I've got to say.
And then, yeah, sure. And then there's a long hallway, okay? So the first box that you see right next to the door is the bathroom. And then the next box, right, is the kitchen. The kitchen is very open. I should have probably drew, like, doors for each one.
Okay.
I'll probably draw it on podcast. Later on. the brown box is where my computer used to be, right? And that's where I can when I said I was near the door, and you can hear the door, you can hear the bathroom and everything. It's because it will echo and stuff like that. So
all the way down that hallway.
Yeah. So that whole
and
room
that's why I could
there,
hear you in the kitchen. Okay. Yeah.
That whole room right there is the living room right there, where the brown box is. So now this little weird, like room down to the south, a little nick, that is the room, and that is open. There's no door. So what we have is like a big, huge curtain crossing that part.
Where you've got the green line.
Where I got the green line. And that's where my computer is now. I have it against that wall. The left
Why are the
wall.
walls diagonal there? Is that just an accident? Oh.
No, that's exactly how it is.
Why is it designed like that? That's so weird.
I don't know.
What does it look like on the outside?
Outside, this is a condo, dude.
No. Okay. Well, okay, so what's on the left of the wall on the far left side?
Neighbors.
And there's neighbors underneath, and there's neighbors above.
There's the neighbors above and on the north and south of the floor plan. And
dude, someone's ripping you off. Your guys to the left of you are getting more of your house for some reason.
Oh, all of it is different. Each floor has a different layout.
Well, look, they're stealing your place and making it awkward for you to furnish.
There's people with 2 floors as well in this building. Like they have 2 floors condos. It's pretty crazy.
Where's your computer within that section now, and where's your bed within that section now?
The bed is at the south wall.
Okay.
And then
going right along it.
Yeah, and then the left wall is where the computer, that little weird line that's not straight.
So you're on the diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm a little off to the side, and I have like my little bookcase and stuff like that. Yeah. So there you go.
Amazing.
That is my little corner, my little slice condo. I'll put some doors and stuff like that and how it actually looks. We'll see.
God, that seems crazy to me actually. But that is all your necessities right there.
It's so small.
Where's the library, man?
Yeah. I do need a library of all
room?
these books I have. I haven't read in so long. Ah, so sad.
It's cool. You use the internet. That's reading. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Right. First question?
Yeah. All right. So we'll go on to the questions. First question comes from someone known as Pete Harris. Very nice name. Who says, if you could have your own personal legendary weapon, what would it look like? And what would you name it? Oh my god. I have to be creative in my answer here.
Oh, yes. Something you're not
Do you
used
have an
to.
idea?
What I was thinking before was this big, huge hammer that has a gun on it, right? So when you slam it to the floor and you press the button, it shotguns back up and swings the other opposite direction, and you could keep doing that. You keep like shotgunning to create momentum.
Just a fully new weapon or what?
It's a hammer, just awesome.
Okay.
It's a hammer, just awesome. I was also thinking about a staff. No. I want a new weapon that's a scythe. Okay? That's a melee weapon. Half melee,
just
half range.
a completely new class. And how does the scythe look for the legendary scythe?
Oh, dude, it's huge. It's a huge scythe, dude. Like and you hold it at its edge maybe? No. In between. And like I gotta say the blade is kind of like Volcanus when it's very fiery, but it's like maybe a bluish color, or maybe you get to pick the color. That would be pretty awesome. There's still a blade there, but it's flaming. I would like that. Or it could be like kind of like Twilight and Sunrise and have like that nice little weird look to it. Oh, man, that'd be awesome. Oh, scythe is awesome. I love scythes. I miss that. Being able to, like, slice someone up with that would be pretty crazy. What about you?
I really have no idea what would be super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know when I used to play Soul Calibur 2 that my favourite weapons were the really weird ones that they added to the game. Like a guy called Voldo.
Oh,
it
yeah.
had tambourines as one of his like cool weapons. What if they just added a tambourine that was a dagger and it had all the good sounds to it? And like if you were dual wielding it, it was like you were dual wielding tambourines, and like as you attack, you make everyone's ears bleed because it does like the tambourine noise, like the two pistols at the moment.
Like the minstrel.
That would be maybe my idea. We have to come up with names as these as well for these as well.
Oh.
Mine would be Tamburino.
Darkness. No.
Darkness. Yeah, no, it should have a name like that. Ultimate Death, and it's just a tambourine that you're holding. Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Shoot Ham.
Butt Reaper.
Wow.
Butt Reaper.
That's a pretty
Reaper, like the Reaper
of butts.
Yes.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's that. There it is. There you go.
Wow. We should be designers. Like, what can you even say to that? Indisputable.
Yep.
Nick Schmidt says, have either of you ever tried playing any games in the Souls series? Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2.
Okay. I have played, like, back then, well, I had a PS3, and I bought Demon Souls on a whim. I was like, oh, let me try this out. I love that game. I played hours and hours, lots of just full days of just playing game, like no lifing it. I really love that game. It had a nice balance of difficulty, and even though like really Dark Souls, Demon Souls, I haven't played Dark Souls, and that's what I'm getting to. But Demon Souls, it was difficult, right? But like once you get used to it, it's not really difficult. You just kind of learn how to like, okay, beware that around the corner you might get stabbed by something, right? And you just gotta learn. Okay, you gotta roll back, dodge. You gotta, kite people into corners. You just gotta know when to attack. You kind of get used to it, and especially if you farm up and you get a lot of health and stuff like that. It gets kind of easy. Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, I have not played. I have not played yet. I've heard about it. I've watched some stuff on it. I have not played yet. I don't know. It never. They still kept this whole thing where you have to play by yourself, and it's incredibly hard to play with someone else. Like, if it was with somebody else, I would love to play that game. And I would buy it immediately. But you have to do this crazy stuff just to play with somebody, and I think it's
I think
ridiculous.
Maybe they just think that the co-op element doesn't like suit the style of the game.
Well, yeah. The developer doesn't want to do it. He never will do it. So, he wants to keep his style. That's fine, but doesn't mean I'm overexcited to play it either. So I do want to play it eventually. I feel like a lot of people say, oh, just play Dark Souls 2 because Dark Souls 1 was a bad PC port. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So
it seems like one of those like intimidating franchises to get into. For me, I've not touched it, but it's like if there is one series that everyone recommends I play, whether it be for the channel or just because they think it really appeals to my sensibilities as a person who plays games, it's this series. Everybody loves, seems to really enjoy this and thinks it's right up my alley. And I think they're probably right from what I've seen of it. But also at the same time, there's this stigma behind it, and I've just never gone to the effort of playing it, I did do a fair bit of learning about how the story goes, or fragments of it when I did that video on it recently. But, I don't write the full scripts to those videos, so I don't have a whole understanding of the way the games work or what their universes are like. I know some people seem to be very passionate about them, but and I like the idea of the gameplay as well. We've both played Super Meat Boy, and that was something that I think this game, at least to me so far, falls in line with, difficult but very, very rewarding. And I think I could get behind it.
But the thing about Super Meat Boy, I think Dark Souls, it suffers from being sometimes too complicated. There's a lot of hidden things in the game that just, I don't understand how people even find out about these things, right? It's just super complicated stuff just to get, best weapons and stuff like that, and get your, spirit up or something. I forgot what it was, this whole mechanic. and it was incredibly, like, I didn't even understand it after reading it, and this was years ago, so maybe, you know, I'm a little bit more mature now, but
you seem to have a very low opinion of how you were a few years ago.
well, I feel like I grow. I feel like I grow every year, which is a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I Super Meat Boy, you always know where your destination is. You know exactly what you're doing wrong. You just have
Somewhere
to do
on
it.
the right.
Right. But with Demon Souls, it feels like it was random, and it doesn't always feel that way. You know, once you get used to it, you kind of, you know, you get used to it. You know, you kind of know where this game is coming from. But it's very like some of the like, if you really want to dive in and get everything in the game, you're gonna have to learn some crazy stuff, man. I don't know how they changed that in Dark Souls, but yeah, in Demon Souls it was like that. Yeah.
But yeah, cool theme and series. The next question comes from
Cool what series? Hold on, what did you say? Cool what series? You said
I said it sounds like a cool series. No, I did not. That's how rude.
You said, I swear that's what you... Someone play that back. I swear that's what he said. All right, go ahead.
I should just throw stuff in there. It's like Fight Club where that guy just puts frames of a willy into the middle of a film, and just people hear it, but then they'll see it and they're like, "Oh, did I just really see that?" And then they just throw it to the side of their mind, move on, and then wonder why they're horny later on tonight.
Oh gosh.
The next question is from Archon Saga, who says, "Hey Matt, have you ever tried Elsword, sort of 3D-ish 2D side-scrolling MMO? Combat is super fun. If you haven't tried it, you should. There are some pretty annoying quality of life problems, but hey, it's fun to play."
Yeah, so as I say, I go through a lot of MMOs, so I tried a bunch of different stuff. So I did try this one out because I like 2D MMOs, right? Everyone knows that. I love me some 2D. So I tried this one out, and I felt like the combat was too, like, I was playing this back where it first came out, probably beta, I don't know, open beta. It felt kind of floaty. You know, it doesn't feel right. Like, it's like watching an anime. No, it's like watching anime and then you going watching a not a children's show, but a cartoon here that's supposed to be action, but it's really like, I don't know, like the action is not good enough. Oh, you know what a good example is? 3D animated movies. You go and watch a 3D animated movie and it's supposed to have action, and it doesn't really have action. Like, it's really floaty, like it's really like kiddish type of feel going on. Or those action movies that are supposed to be action movies, but they're not really good. Or those shows that try to have action in it and the fighting is really bad. Like really bad. That's what I feel like. No. I don't think that combat is bad, but that's how I kind of feel. Like, the combat is kind of off for me. Like, I like to feel my hit. You know, I like to, you know, in MapleStory, you actually feel like you're damaging the foes. Like, I feel like the attacks are too slow for me. Like, it's a little floaty. I don't know how to explain that, but maybe it's different. Maybe it's different now. I don't know, but I haven't tried. How long ago
was this? Did you say?
Years ago when it first came out. This game is pretty old.
I kind of want to Google image it and see how it looks.
It looks cool. The graphics are good. I think it's more of like dungeon oriented. You play with people and you go through different areas, and I kind of like that type of style.
Oh, I see a foresty looking area.
So I might want to go back and try it out again. But yeah, I've played a lot of MMOs, and so yeah, that is a weird MMO question. There you go.
Still no Ghost Online, by the way. It's not gone back to it.
Ghost Online. Mm-hmm.
Jweez313313 says, question, Matt, do you automatically start talking differently to black people than you do to white? Really, we going with this? Now we have to make an agreement. We have to make an agreement not to be racist.
No. This is a good question. Go ahead.
No racism. I'm black and I do this without noticing. Different slang and whatnot. Nothing too bad, but there is a difference. While we're at it, what about you, WP?
Yeah, so I think I do. I think sometimes, you know, not really thinking about it, if you're around the crowd, you'll throw a couple N-words in there. No, I'm just kidding. No,
That's like right off the deep end straight away.
yeah, it's like straight away. Yeah, but no. Yeah, I don't really talk differently to people. Usually the people I hang around with, it's not straight. I don't really hang around with straight up ghetto people as I used to. Like straight up, this full on. Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, like the straight up stereotype. No, I don't really have that anymore. Usually like with my friends, usually for some reason my good guy friends are light skinned like me, so I guess that's technically black. So we talk regular with each other. We don't change anything. But what I do change though, other than the race thing, is being nerdy. I don't go full nerd when I'm talking to random people.
Well, what is nerd lingo? In all seriousness, we have a
nerd lingo is making a joke about a video game that they probably don't even know they don't even know it exists.
Is that slightly different though than talking slightly differently? Because isn't it just sort of understandable that the topics you bring up with different people is going to be different? Do you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't talk to your nan about that either. You wouldn't talk to, people who you've just met about specific work information. Isn't it slightly different? But just the way you talk and present yourself as a whole changing is sort of...
Well, I mean, we're also judging that people don't know. Like, I don't know if they know.
Oh, you're saying it's a face value judgment you're making, that they have no idea what Ghost Online is, so you never make a joke about TDMMOs.
Well, Ghost Online, yeah. Everyone knows what Call of Duty is and stuff like that. But making jokes, or just like if we're talking about a video series or anything, or comic books, for instance. And we're not talking about comic books originally, but you talk about it because you're in that genre, like in movie genre, for instance. And I start talking about a comic book movie, and they I don't even watch that nerdy crap. It's that type of thing. You kind of shut that off, but it's one of those things where as soon as they understand what you're talking about, you go full nerd after that point. Oh yeah, dude, I hate when they did this part, blah blah blah. Oh, did you see this anime, or did you see this? And we go full nerd after that. But yeah, I don't really change the way sometimes I go a little niggerish, you know what I'm saying? When you're that's what it's called. When it comes down to having fun and being that stereotype for a couple minutes, just to be funny with the friends. But that's pretty much it. I don't really change the way I talk. What about you? Do you not be British when you're talking to your black friends? Or your people that are not inside of the UK?
Yeah, okay, so when I took language at college, there's actually an academic term for it that I've now forgotten, because I think a lot of that kind of whatever. But he openly admitted he grew up in a very northern area of the country. He was teaching in a very southern area of the country. He sounded very proper or normal to me, but when we broach this topic of people they twist their dialect and their accent slightly in the direction of whoever they're around, it's like a thing. And he was when I go up north, and he was quite an old guy as well. I had a lot of respect for this teacher. He's one of those teachers that would sort of stick with you, but he always spoke in a certain way, and he openly admitted to us, he was when I go up north to see my family and I'm spending time with them, I do not speak a lick like I do right now. And then he just talked in such an incredible fluent way, but in a completely different accent that was just so bizarre to hear coming out of his mouth. But he was saying it so smoothly, and he did almost a whole lesson just like that. And it was whoa, what, this guy can just... And he was and this just demonstrates how easily, especially for people that have changed at some point in their life, where they live or relocated in a big way, that can just happen. So yeah, but how many people outside of my demographic do I... Yeah, I think there are a lot of people around me who speak very kind of London-y, and I'll throw out the word buddy or mate or whatever, you know, like a bit more often while I'm around those kinds of people. I hear my brothers do it all the time. Everybody does it. They, you know, put on a slightly deeper voice or something. It's like, it's totally a thing. Absolutely.
What tends to happen with me, which happened recently, is a lot of people thought I was quiet. Like,
so you started screaming?
No. Like, the way I act here is pretty much the way I act. But the thing is, it was a bunch of girls, like, all the time at our church, right? There's a lot of girls. Hello? So I'm usually quiet because people feel kind of weird when a guy is overly friendly. Like, I can't do what I used to do in high school. You know, people take it the wrong way. So, you know, I just don't, I respect not to just be too much of me, and I kind of dial it down a little bit because I get a little crazy sometimes. So
what is this? Have you got a story about a time you got up to a girl, went a little bit crazy, and now you have to like be careful?
No,
around the church girls.
No, nothing bad like that. But like first impressions, they thought I was quiet, like a quiet guy. I was always working. The thing is, I do a lot of work for the church, so I'm always doing, I do the video work, I do everything, pretty much everything that's needed. So I'm always running around. So I never got a chance to really talk either. So recently we've been having like little outings here and there, and I started being myself. And people were like, what the hell? Like, making all these jokes and stuff and messing around, and like people were like, dang, you're not quiet? Like, no. And my wife was like, you don't know my husband. He's a lunatic. And I'm like, that's what you think about me? Yeah, because me and my wife be getting a little wild, making jokes and stuff.
Wow.
In the house as well.
I love the thought of someone who knows you from YouTube going to church, seeing you, and then be like, whoa, you're Matt Visual, but you're like really kind of quiet and timid and like just a totally different guy because you're there, and everyone like looks and you're like, oh, yeah, hi, can you take a seat? It'd be amazing.
Oh gosh, that is so weird. Like meeting people on the street, like, oh hey dude, I can totally know you. You're like, oh yeah, hey, like they're a total different personality. Because a lot of people who are on the internet, they have a personality for YouTube, right? They're this different person. And
how much of it that I've never actually sort of experienced that. I've never really seen someone like. I know that there was wasn't there like the original girl gamer or whatever? There was some like girl video game vlogger who, like, it turned out she was just an actress or something, and there was like crazy backlash and hate over it. But I know about that, but I've never really heard about
like overly attached girlfriend is her name. Yeah.
I thought she was pretty just a cool person.
Yeah, she is a cool person. Yeah,
fine.
She started branching out into like just doing regular stuff, and she creates that character. Also, Miranda sings. I didn't know she had another channel dedicated to her being normal. I did not know that. It was so weird.
Dedicated to normal.
Yeah. Like, you know who Miranda Sings is, right? She put on the lipstick. She has the messed up makeup. She messes up her hair. And she sings like this. Oh, starships are made to fly. She sings like that. Like halfway.
If I didn't before, I do now.
Yeah. Look it up. And she purposely sings really bad. And she's actually a singer.
Really?
She's actually a real singer, and she could sing. She could definitely sing. So like it was so weird. But she used that to become, like herself.
Known.
Yeah, herself. This is this big thing that just kind of blew up. But yeah, like other YouTubers have talked about it, of being a personality on YouTube, and really they're this very antisocial person, And I already talked.
I guess
I already talked about like that awkward moment where I said hi to a bunch of guys in the Polaris network, and they were like, very antisocial. You see like Dodger putting up her phone and stuff.
I just feel worried, like with those people, that they've been harassed like so much now, to the point where it's like.
And you see this black guy with a huge mohawk say, "Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing, man? I'm so glad to meet you. And they're like, oh my God, it's another one of them. And you're like,
I would expect you are in the vast minority. I think most people would be quiet and mumbling and just humbled and graced. I'm nodding knowingly right now.
Yeah, but really, if you probably meet me on the street, I'll probably be my regular self.
He'll talk ghetto to you.
Yo, what up, yo? What's going on?
Ah, so you go into the porn voice. That's where you learnt it, in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
We shouldn't be.
Oh no, let's not go in that direction.
Okay, yeah, all right. So the next question is from TH God Marcus, who says, Matt Visual, Wooden Potatoes, have you ever wanted to write a book? If so, what's the plot about, and do you think it would sell well?
I love sci-fi. I love a lot of things. I've read mostly fantasy, but I like me some sci-fi. Creating, like, the biggest example was like Mass Effect. Man, the first time I played that game, just having a world just to dive your nom-noms into, it's ridiculous. And I lost hours and hours to that game. But man, what would be the plot? I'm kind of blanking on plot, but it would have to do with something with adventure and maybe slightly
aliens,
maybe slightly some Firefly in there. Some Firefly in there, and slightly some Firefly in there. I like the way Firefly was done. You know, some episodes will be on the ship. Well, it's not episodes, but you know, some moments will be on the ship, and then some moments will be on these distant planets. Maybe go into a planet that has been deserted and trying to figure out the information there. I wonder. I would love to make a sci-fi series, and it's just episodes, and it could have an overall main plot, but I would love to have just experiences, you know, and you know, just venturing on in deep open space, uncharted space, and finding out most weirdest stuff that's going on. And that's kind of why I like Doctor Who, because it's the most absurd thing possible that can happen. You never know what's going to happen because it's not predictable, because it's ridiculous.
I was reading a thread, just a what if thread, about what would be the weirdest thing you could put on Mars to troll NASA and the Mars rover. And like one guy was like, oh, you would just put an exact replica of the pyramids of Giza on Mars, and they're oriented exactly the same way along Orion's belt as they are on Earth, and the exact same size and girth, and they're just there on Mars. And then, like, the rover would find these pyramids, and it'd be like, whoa, what the hell? Like, if you really think about that, what that could mean for Earth, and you could easily take a simple concept like that and turn that into a larger universe.
For slightly uninformed people, what is these pyramids?
You know, pyramids in Egypt?
I thought you meant, like, a specific pyramid.
Well, the pyramids of Giza, I guess, are a specific section.
What's the Giza?
They're like oriented along with the stars. I believe. Oh, okay. Are those the three specific ones, and one of them's the Great Pyramid, or are they maybe some other ones? I don't know. I'm not too brought up on Egypt. But for me, I've never. Over my life, I'm sure there's been many times where I've written lots of stories and wanted to tell lots of stories, but actually rarely it's been books. Usually I've dreamt about, oh, hey, this could be the plot of a video game or something. Right now, rather than a book, it would be like, I'd love to produce something that is very similar to a TV series that's like a drama, you know, like 40-minute episodes or so. And I have loads of ideas and things. Like the general universe, and one of the core sort of premises behind my thing would be, it would be a fantasy kind of story, a fantasy world, but not very high fantasy at all. It would be, you know, very kind of realistic. Yes, like magic is a thing, but it's not like a big thing. Like it's very, you know, kind of grounded and based a lot on our own kind of history, rather than being sort of, oh, here are elves and ants and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You know, so it's sort of quite realistic in its portrayal, but it's got that fantasy and magic to it. And, you know, like one of the core themes that I think would be really exciting to play with is, mixing, like whenever you have a universe where there's magic, right? No one ever sort of toys with the idea, well, why doesn't regular, and I'm sure actually there are many, because I'm not, you know, I've not read everything in the world, but I feel like one idea that I'd love to explore is, why don't there's always this weird thing like, oh, if there's magic, then there can't be electricity, and people haven't developed light bulbs, and there's not, computers and things because there's magic. Unless we're talking about something like Sabrina the Teenage Witch or Buffy the Vampire or something that's actually set in the real world in modern times. So what I'd like is a fantasy setting that is, rather medieval or whatever, but all these actual normal advancements that would be made by science and so forth are made. And also a core tenet of it would be, yes, magic exists, but it also exists in a world where it is still bested by like guns. You can summon fireballs and you can conjure lightning bolts on people and stuff, whatever you want, but a guy with a rifle will still just shoot you in the head and kill you straight away. And you're like, so there's like that balance there, and there's a bit more conflict, and actually it would lean more on the side of people with machines, and like that would be a really cool thing. And like for characters in particular,
sounds like Full Metal Alchemist, but just in the future.
Maybe, but maybe. I mean, but I've not watched it, and like it would still be very sort of, it wouldn't be like super futuristic at all. But like, and then character-wise, I've got so many different characters. I love the idea of like one guy I really want to play a lot with. Is like the idea of a mute person who through all the story. As like, this is just the mute guy that's with us, and outwardly he seems fine, he looks a bit gruff or whatever, but suspicion comes over him at some point, because like currently my idea is like the group becomes aware that there's like a spy amongst them, and they're being infiltrated and being watched, and now they're all paranoid of one another. And because there's this one mute guy who can't really defend himself and nobody knows too well because he never talks, eventually the group unifies their suspicion on him, and they sort of think, right, well, this must be the spy. And I love that a story of eventually, as they all turn on him, and maybe it even leads to his death perhaps, we get to the point where we're now looking inside his head, and we find out, we get to hear his thoughts, and, he's this happy guy, and he's like, oh, yeah, and you realise he's straight up and stuff, but by then it's too late, and maybe the group's turned on him, and he's outcast, or whatever comes of that. I think that'd be a great idea. And you could even have little twists as well, like, the whole story sets up that this guy can't talk, and then, like, when you eventually get some narrative from his own thoughts inside his own head, you hear him thinking to himself, oh, yeah, I can talk just fine, it's just I choose I don't want to. And, like, he's a character that somehow convinced himself he can talk, even though he quite clearly can't, and even in dire situations he cannot, but in his own mind he thinks, yeah, I can, because he's just like, this is a flaw or a crack in his personality. Like, I've got so much stuff, like, yes, this is something that comes up with me a lot, and I've got like a lot of written down.
Well, there you go.
Anyway,
a full movie from
the deaf guy in a magic gun world.
Yes. The deaf guy in the magic gun world. That's
should that be the title of the movie we invented earlier?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
The next question, I didn't mean to go on so long there. The next question is from Richarda, who says, hey WP, which part of England do you reside in? Do I support any football clubs? If so, which one? No, I don't. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. Football bores me because like my dad forced us to sit in on Sundays where I'd rather be out playing, and we'd just be forced to watch football, and I found it incredibly boring.
You are talking about soccer, right?
No, football? What's soccer? Yeah, no, for football, I guess. And so, yeah, I don't really... when I was a kid, just because it was the done thing to pick a team, I guess I picked Liverpool because I loved to swim as a very young kid. And I held on to, like, this thin thread of that for a while. And then eventually was like, why am I even saying I like Liverpool? I clearly don't like the sport. I'm dropping it when I, was old enough to think for myself. That's pretty much it. The next question is from Lantern MTG, who says, Tiffany says...
We just glossed over that. So,
wait,
so your dad problems? Let's talk about that a little bit more.
We don't want to have another dark moment on the podcast.
No real moments?
No. We've already done the dark moments. We're talking about kids beating one another.
Okay. And butt reapers.
Yeah, people are just getting over that hump.
Right.
Just getting over it.
All right. Go ahead.
Lantern MTG says, Tiffany says, I love you too, Matt. Question. I'll just leave that unexplained, shall I? Assuming my writer instincts are correct, I'm pretty sure the Living World story is going to go through the Pale Tree and have a lot of content in the Sylvari zones first, before moving to the Maguma jungle to eventually fight the jungle dragon. Would this upset guys like you, Matt, who aren't huge salad fans, aside from eating it, because there would be a feeling of race bias?
Well, see, I've been eating salads for like 2 years, so, I don't feel like eating it anymore. But this is Andrew, which is Tiffany's boyfriend, which is Tiffany is the animator that's working on the new project. Yes. So
which I've seen previews of, I will say.
Oh, spoilers. Come on now.
And I would be very excited. There you go, no spoilers.
No, spoilers.
See, just a nice little plug.
A little plug
what
there.
Is that?
All right, go.
Teaser.
So what do you think? What do you think?
I think, yeah, people would get annoyed about race bias. I personally don't really care because, like, a race is a race. Like, I've got enough characters. I don't feel a particular affinity to any race. I think some people might be a bit sour if they're just not interested in the Sylvari, and the devs keep saying, "Oh, Sylvari, amazing! Please, Sylvari, they're my favorite." So I'm going to keep, And I actually had a pretty angry comment on one of my videos the other day. He's like saying, "Oh, was it on the podcast? I can't remember which." With someone saying, "Oh, when are ArenaNet just going to accept that the whole Scarlet thing was a dropped ball and Sylvari are terrible and one of the devs just loves them, blah 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 blah. They need to get rid of them." And that is out there in the community. People don't like the Sylvari, and those guys aren't going to be happy to see.
I didn't really even think about that she was a Sylvari, and we're going into more Sylvari stuff again. I didn't even really think about it until just now. Like, I don't really care what race it is. I care if the story's good. That's what I care about, and that's what I care about only. Race has nothing to do about it. Nothing to do about it at all. I like Sylvari. Sylvaris are fine. I've never dived in like crazily into one lore that makes me want to be invested in, like, oh, I need this in my life. We need to go back and look into some more Char stuff and more Azuran stuff and stuff like that. No, I'm fine with any story as long as it's done well. All about the implementation.
I parrot all of that. I think that was really well put, and that's exactly how I feel as well.
Yep.
100%. Question 7. This comes from Omar K, who says, "How do you think the mega servers impacting guild recruitment? Not every guild crosses servers, and if, for example, a guild is specifically oriented to World vs. World, how cumbersome will it be for them to recruit players from the right server?"
Man, I didn't.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I didn't think about this last time. We were thinking about all the other problems of the overflow and stuff, but really, if they should have something in place for this. Maybe you'll be able to find out what server they're on just by clicking on that person or something like that. But still, it really puts everyone in the same spot. And the whole point, like, it feels like servers are useless now, and the only point to a servers now is just World v World, and that's pretty much it. Because now with the mega server, everyone's going to be on the same server.
Well, don't forget that each guild has its like upgrades and stuff built only for a specific chapter at the moment, which is only on one server.
Right.
And they're hoping to remove that, but for now, yeah, that's going to be another issue.
So that's what's going to be the thing to fix that. So we're just going to have to wait until that happens. So
yeah,
it's going to be slightly weird for recruiting. Yes, definitely. It's definitely going to be weird.
Those World versus World exclusive guilds who only want people of that are just going to have to do their recruiting from within World versus World, I would say, and then they're sure that they're going to get people from that map. And maybe that's not so bad.
It might be, because, man, I've seen that map.
Well, what
chat.
quality of player are you going to get recruiting in the Gandharan fields in PvE? Like, I would like to think World versus World guilds who want World versus World players are recruiting from World versus World anyway, like...
Right.
Why would you be recruiting from PvE?
I think mostly how World v World guildies come together is that they see a group and they see them do very well, and they want to join that guild just because they see them do very well in World v World.
I got into a World vs. World guild just because I was playing a lot of World vs. World. I started joining Zergs, and eventually the commander of that Zerg was like, "Hey, I've seen you a lot. Do you want to join our guild?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And there you go. That was it. And I think that's probably how a few of it ends up happening.
Right.
But it's a good point. The next question is from Robert Bereza, who says, "Hey Matt and WP, when I browse the forums, I see people complaining about Skyhammer wanting ArenaNet to take it out of solo queue, because you can fall off the edge easily, it seems. But because I don't really have any problems with it, I don't understand what all the fuss is about. What are your thoughts on the map?" What are your thoughts? I can explain this quite well, I feel, but I'd like to see what you think of it.
Well, I'll be short. I don't like the map. I don't like the map. It's not crazy. It's fine when it's, just regular hot join, and you can just, play with a bunch of players, even though it's still ridiculously crazy to have all these characters fighting over the hammer. But basically, whoever controls the hammer controls the whole entire map. And I find it very annoying that you could be doing very well and being able to protect something, and basically you'll die because of someone didn't do their job in protecting the Skyhammer. So the reason why I don't like it in solo queue is because it's more of a team queue type of map. If you don't have a team and you can't trust a person to, take care of this spot of making sure the hammer doesn't fall into the enemy hands, then it becomes an issue when you're trying to protect your node and they just come and kill you because the Skyhammer is pushing you off the node. It's annoying. It's pretty annoying. So I don't like to have it in my solo queue because more often than not, you're gonna get random people who, some of them are gonna be good at the map, some people are gonna be bad at the map. And that's what's gonna happen. It's whoever is the strongest of getting that Skyhammer controls the whole entire map. At least that's my experience with it. What about you?
I think the reason people hate Skyhammer is because people run so much cheese on the map. People bypass
cheese.
When you play a lot of PvP, you come to love the mechanics of Guild Wars 2's depleting people's health and playing with condies and using your rotations and using all of your traits to maximum effectiveness and enjoying Guild Wars 2's combat. I agree in essence that different maps should encourage different skill usages. Like when Kylo is run, Guardian's like, yeah, I'll run sword instead so I can blink back up on the middle node. I agree with that in premise. But Skyhammer is so heavily slanted to favor players who run cheesy CC builds that the entire map is no longer fun. It comes down to who wins on Skyhammer is basically, okay, who has got the permanent decap NG that runs up to the node in the middle. Like, it is incredibly frustrating in that game to have all semblance of traits and skill and experience you have with your class and your spec that you're running be stripped out of you because this guy can just permanently CC you and CC you and CC you and just knock you off and knock you off and knock you off. It's not even as bad. Like, a lot of people don't like the side nodes because a thief can stealth and then scorpion wire, or engineer can stealth and then use his magnet pull, and there is literally no tell for it at all, and then there you go, you just fall down, you smash through the glass. The side nodes are bad enough. The top at the hammer itself, though, how easy that is to camp and troll people and just constantly have them knocked off, using what is a far less skillful method of playing the game that bypasses the rest of the mechanics, is horribly unfun. It's the worst thing. It's literally either you play to the mechanics of Skyhammer and you run one of those decap CC builds anyway, which is probably not the build you wanted to play in Guild Wars 2 and is not representative of the general experience of PvP in that game, or you don't run that stuff and you're incredibly frustrated because everyone else is and they're beating you for it. I hated Skyhammer for those reasons, that like you would just be completely slapped around by these no-skill people that were just running CC stuff. And it was like, what do you do? You know, maybe you can avoid one, yay. Maybe you can avoid a second, yay. Maybe you even kill the guy. What's he going to do? Just res and come back. And it's such a steep battle to fight against these cheesy builds. And that's why, like, I just can't stand the map. Everyone rolls classes with specific builds and pulls stuff just to manipulate those mechanics, and it's so far beyond what the other maps are that, yeah, it's horrible. I hate it. And that's why I think people don't like it. The next question, we're going to turn down the lights for this one.
Oh yeah. I've been feeling okay.
I've been really trying, but it was good. Darren Brink says, "Hey WP, would you ever consider moving to the US permanently or temporarily? And Matt, would you ever consider moving outside of the US for a period of time?" He doesn't give you the option to move out of the US permanently, I see. This is just unfathomable to what is presumably another US citizen.
I always thought about moving away. I want to try out. I really want to try out the UK. I want to try out a little bit of. I want to visit Russia and Tokyo and China, and I don't know. I want to experience all that. I don't know if I want to try India though. But
okay, so you want to travel, but what about moving to those places?
Moving, it all depends on how it is. I've always thought about moving to the UK. for a period of time just to test that out. Because I always like to test out places. Because I want to feel safe with the place I move at, you know? And I feel like the UK is outside of the US. I mean, yeah, the UK is outside of the US. And I can still talk to people. Yeah, I can still talk to people. So that's fine.
No guns.
Oh, yeah, you know.
No natural disasters.
Yeah. Everything's pretty safe. So that would be the place if I were to move to try something out. I would probably try the UK because I would just love just going anywhere. You know, you go to make
man.
You go to the store and she's like, "How may I help you?" You know, oh, that would be just amazing, dude. Just to hear that accent all the time. I'm sorry, it'll be brilliant. Oh.
I love that it's such a novelty to you. Maybe I should go to the shop and just bask in. Should I go to the shop and secretly record the shopkeep on my phone?
I'm pretty sure.
And then play it back to you next podcast.
There you go. Go
my
ahead.
Recording of her at the shop.
Just explain to her what you're doing, or not. Just stare into her eyes and just hold up the microphone.
Well, I think the shop is ran by Indians, so I don't actually think they will sound the way you want them to.
It's not going to be a novelty coming over here and going to the hood and be like, "Yo, what's up, homie? What you want?" You know, it's not going to be the same thing.
Maybe it would.
Maybe it would, yeah.
Do you want to record your shopkeep and I'll record mine?
Oh, mine's is just regular as everyone else. Oh, how may I help you? Welcome to the Publix.
Yeah, but we'll compare.
Yeah.
We'll go
Yours
buy
is gonna
something.
sound better. Yours is gonna be
well, it's not a competition. It's just a funny little thing to do. We'll just both buy something from the shop and record the person. Or we'll just record without them knowing,
I'm telling you, I'm gonna go in line and then I'm gonna get that girl. She's gonna be smacking on her gum. She's like, "How may I help you? Oh, have a good day? Did you find everything in Publix?"
I would find that very interesting to hear.
Oh my gosh! One day, no, I usually get pretty good service, so I'm pretty straight.
Okay,
fair enough. So what about you? Would you move to the U.S. permanently?
Yeah, man, I'd love to move to the U.S. But the thing is, I don't have a degree, so it's like impossible for me to do it unless I was like a famous person.
Really? So if all right, let's just say this year YouTube explodes, right? You get enough of a following that you can sustain yourself. I don't think that the visa people respect YouTube enough for that to do anything, no.
You
get a visa. Would you move to the U.S.?
I think so, yeah, I'd love to. I'm like at the point in my life where I'd like to just move really far away and just, I would really like that.
I had to move from Miami. I was born and raised in Miami, and I just had to get out. I had to get out.
And like it's a big jump. I mean, in theory, I could go to Canada. Like they're much better with letting people in, I suppose. And Canada's not all a frozen wasteland like people would like you to believe. And it seems like quite a nice place, I guess. And that would be a much more realistic thing for me to do. I would only say the US because of the weather and the climate, and maybe the cities. But the thing is, like, really, for me, it would just be about a big, significant move away, And I think, really, that would be a great place. That or Australia and New Zealand. Because, again, as much as people say everything kills you down there, I really don't think it does. And that would be pretty cool. And, yeah, that is something I consider quite a lot. Wait, guess what?
Last question by Samantha.
Where is that kept? Describe to me your area. Where is it kept?
It's kept on my desk. It's kept on my desk, but sometimes I have this little like white draw system.
Okay, those girls came to visit recently.
Those girls? What girls?
Yeah, okay, a few weekends ago.
Oh yeah. My wife's friends, yeah.
Wait, did your wife's friends see it and were like, "What the hell is this? Why have you got Christmas decorations out?"
Well, well, I don't know how much they saw. But yeah, my desk has a bunch of like notebooks because I write down everything, like all my ideas and stuff like that in notebooks. So I have a bunch of notebooks everywhere, and I got my camera, and I'm pretty sure they saw that. But
did they say anything? I love the thought that they were like, "What is this?"
They didn't say anything. If they did, they didn't say anything.
But that seems even weirder. Like that sounds like they're judging you and not saying anything.
No,
like,
no.
Wouldn't you talk about that?
No, I pretty much made them laugh the whole time they were here. It was a good time. So I'm pretty sure they don't think of me as some. Well, if they do think of me as weird, it's a good weird. I'm pretty sure.
The weird reindeer guy.
Yeah, the rain. Wow. I'm suddenly conscious.
The last question is from Samantha Rogan, who says, "Hey guys, I have a question. Hopefully it's not too late. Can you offer any advice for people wanting to start making gaming YouTube videos that have no experience? Maybe some bad rookie mistakes that either of you made that I should avoid. For the record, I would totally buy Ritlock Has No Pants VisualWood shirt." Samantha.
Dude, we need to get on that. We need to get on that. Okay. So this is some things that I've seen a lot. People have sent me videos and stuff like that. You have to record in 1080p or 720p. You have to record. Don't be
and
with
the right
potatoes.
Aspect ratio.
Yes, and the right aspect ratio. The right aspect ratio. Use Fraps. Use the Xstory. Use one of them. Record properly and record in good quality. Right. Your mic. All right. Don't use your laptop mic. Okay, anything but your laptop mic, because the laptop mic is going to sound bad, right? Use Audacity. It's a free program that you can record and remove background noise. I don't want to hear your background noise, okay? So that's another thing, all right? Use Audacity. Look up tutorial on removing background, noise removal, right? So you have a decent mic. A decent mic would be like what, like $40-$50? For like maybe a snowball or maybe a headset that comes with a mic. Some of you guys spend like $100 on your headset mics. You could use that. Doesn't matter. Mic is important, but when you're starting out, just use what you have. Just laptop mics, they sound really, really bad because they pick up everything in the room. Aspect ratio, of course, make sure you're rendering it out in the proper resolution. So if you're recording in 720p, if all you have is a 720p monitor, you record in 720p, or even if you have the a 16 by 9, is it 9? Isn't it 10 or 16?
Some monitors will be 16 by 10, and that can give you letterboxing and black bars and stuff because your default resolution is different to the way YouTube would.
Yeah, you just have to kind of make it fit.
You have to check that stuff.
Yeah. You just have to render it out properly, and it all depends on the program you're using. For me, I use Adobe Premiere. It's really, really good to get into and actually learn.
You could bother with all of that, right? Or here's my suggestion. If you've got a phone, right? So I've got my phone here right now. If you have a look on your phone, like there's a feature on a lot of phones that come out recently. Camera, right? You can turn the camera on. Now you're gonna need 2 hands to play a video game, right? Now if you are a little bit careful, you can balance it on your shoulder, right? And just tilt your head to the right slightly, and it will be balanced nicely there. And now you can film with it on your shoulder. It will shake a tiny little bit, but people won't notice. Nobody pays that much attention, right? And you can do this to film the monitor, and that video that appears on your phone, that's going to capture audio for you. It will capture all the video footage for you in the right aspect ratio. Maybe even in 720p if you've got an iPhone like I have. Maybe even 1080p, right? And what you can do is upload directly to YouTube from your phone. If you go to YouTube, you can like text it to a certain number, and it'll upload for you super quick.
And that is an example of bad advice.
This is a quick way to make gaming videos, and at the end of the day, you need to make a lot because there's a lot of them out there, and you need to like overwhelm the odds.
No,
brute forcing.
No, okay, so that's
you do it 2 minutes each one. Let's play 2 minutes.
So that's the technical side of YouTube. YouTube, you can't do it. You can't do it unless you want to do it. Like, you can't force yourself to make videos. You kind of have to, like, it's kind of one of those things where you should do, if you want to start a YouTube channel, you should start it because you like doing what you already do. And, there's a purpose in it. Like, I don't know, like, for me, I like making people laugh, and I like playing games, and I just kind of put that in there. And recently I've been trying to do some more stuff like that, and with the art, the Quaggan lore, and the animation that's coming and stuff like that, and the rap. You know, like just you have to use your creativity. As far as getting an audience, it's the most hardest thing you can ever do. Like some people instantly fame within a year or so because they get lucky, or with the YouTube.
No, there's no or. It's because they get lucky.
No, they get you lucky with the YouTube search algorithm, or there is a big YouTuber that puts his hands on your shoulder and says, "Don't worry, child. If you give me what I want,
wow, look, you make this all really dark." Jeez.
That's exactly what happened. So, I've seen a few groups of YouTubers get big just because they collab with someone and stuff like that. I mean, like someone who's huge, not collab, but like supports them in a way, and they know them. I guess they know them in real life or something like that. I don't know. Like I've seen that a lot. Collabing is always pretty good way to get your name out there, even though it kind of gets a little mucky, should I say. I've been kind of going through it lately that I won't go into detail with, but it makes you feel like you don't want to collab anymore. I guess I'm kind of going off topic. I'm going off topic. Jeez, I could talk about YouTube literally for a whole podcast. I've been doing this and I've done so much research. I pretty much know everyone.
Guys, I'm just doing whatever in the week, and Matt just like links me another channel. He's like, "Hey, look at what happened to this guy. Hey, look at what happened to this guy."
I do a lot of research.
Positive and negative things, like constantly. Like he seems just to be permanently like looking through YouTube at like what works for people and what doesn't. Like,
I
it's
just
insane.
find these stuff, okay? I don't permanently look through that stuff. But YouTube, it's different for everyone. Everyone starts it for different reasons. I say do what you like doing. It's not something. Don't think of it something of that. Oh, I'm gonna get money and stuff like that, because you don't get money unless you're PewDiePie and you upload 1 billion videos every day and they all get 1 million views. You're not gonna get money. Like if you get popular, then you'll start getting money, right? And popular meaning like, I don't know. Well, what's sustainable? WP 200K, 100K.
It depends what kind of quality of life you want for yourself.
Yeah, it does.
In
That's
some
true.
respects, what I've got is sustainable, but it's not something you'd want to live like for the rest of your life. So in many other respects, it's not sustainable.
I am not sustainable whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I cannot pay anything. So like that, this is something you do for fun, or you just put your all into it. Like some people go through it. Go into it for short films, and they want to become a film guy, either a producer, director, or whatever. And this is a way that you can gain experience. This is a way where you can act in your own short films, and you can practice, and people can give you feedback. People start YouTube for different reasons. For us, we're in the gaming community, so it's more of about, we play games, and we talk about the games with other people, and we give you information, right? Some people do it for, to make people laugh. Some people do it to be outrageously funny, outrageously stupid. There's lots of different reasons. Total Biscuit does it because, he feels that niche not niche, but it feels that spot where he's overcritical about it, right? Regardless if you agree with what he says or not, you take his stuff into consideration. Okay, it doesn't have this. Oh, it doesn't have this graphics. Oh, he says this graphic sucks, but I like it, so it doesn't really matter. But you take his critical bits, and you're like, okay, and you decide if you want to buy the game or not, and that's why WTF is popular. So, trying to grow on YouTube, you have to feel that, like, you have to be original and use creativity in your videos, and even that, it's still hard to grow. You just have to kind of hope someone notices you one day, or you slowly grow into, some people who are popular now have been doing this for years. for years and years and years. And you know, as a side project. And do not quit your job and do YouTube. Like it's not a thing. It's not a thing, guys. Like I've heard someone do that before, and I'm like, why did you do that? Like, you're not gonna get money like that. You know, like, it's not happening. No one quits their job and starts doing YouTube. It's not a thing. I don't know. Am I the only one who believes in that? Like, quitting your job and starting doing YouTube? Like, I'm talking about...
What, like, we're starting from nothing?
Starting from nothing. I'm talking about starting from nothing.
Yeah, like, you have to have some pretty big cojones to believe you're going to go somewhere.
From zero to, like, sustainable money.
Yeah, like, that would be pretty ridiculous to do.
Yeah, so...
Like, make sure, you know, you've got something if you're going to make a big leap like that.
And the reason why I mention money is because it's the amount of time that you put into YouTube. If you put in a lot of time, depending on what type of content you do, you know, if you put in a lot of time, then you kind of want to be able to eat, you know, when you wake up in the morning. So it's one or the other. So when you have a job and you try to do YouTube on the side, it's kind of hard to kind of juggle the two together depending on what you're doing and what content are you're providing. But yeah, like, you know, going full on into YouTube, you kind of need money to sustain yourself. You know, going full job. All right, I'm going off topic. There you go. That's the YouTube question. There you go.
For me, I would have one tiny bit of advice. Like, I really think to me, like, is really high up there on the list. People that go far have like one golden thing that I think really counts for a lot, especially if you're like in the gaming space. And that's enthusiasm. Like, enthusiasm is really infectious. If you're enthusiastic about what you're talking about, people will be enthusiastic about it as well, and eventually enthusiastic about you. Be enthusiastic. Not feigned. People can tell if you're feigning enthusiasm. That would be bad, but just be enthusiastic, but don't feign it.
It has to be natural. It has to be natural, just personality.
You think of any personality, they are an enthusiastic person about something or another. And that's what that is really it. I think that's what people most resonate with when they're looking at videos or really any personality driven thing, enthusiasm in something. And so that's what
there are some people who are just very like boring and just like, well, yeah, this and this and that. We've gotten popular because of that, but yeah, most of the time is enthusiasm.
Yeah. Anyway, so that would be my advice. And that was the last question.
That was the last question. Anything else? Do we? I'm gonna do that thing that I've always heard on podcasts. Rate us on iTunes and follow us on SoundCloud.
Oh,
yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, I've never done that before. It feels so weird. I've always listened to that. Anyways, I've been holding water in my body for a very long time. So
you
anyways,
just
guys,
asked me to stop and go to the toilet.
Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And stay visual. Don't you?
I'm not gonna say it, so you like we yourself, and it'll be amazing.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, dude, I'm totally gonna leave right now.
Ritlock, drip,
gosh.
drip, drip. Has drip, drip, drip.
I'm gone.
Drip, drip, drip. No pants. Good night, everybody. And now I sit here like a dummy because he's actually gone to the toilet. Amazing.